welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a vintage cube draft for funsies. I am home on my holiday break right now and going to release this on a weekend, which is where I drop my bonus cube content when I do it. Once again, as usual, a pack with no power in it. I don't expect to ever see a piece of power 9 in my entire life unless my opponent's playing it when I cube draft. That's fine. Minsc Boo is insanely messed up as a card, and getting it this early, I could really plan around it. Chandra is kind of one of the premier red 4-drops, but so is Minsc Boo. Mystical Tutor brings combo together. Mother of Runes is good. Fatal Push and Bitter Triumph for good interaction. I'm not considering any of these cards over Minsc Boo. There we go. Pick 2. I see a Karakas. This is not a card I pass very often. Kappa, Lauren, Talisman can help me deploy Minsc Boo a little faster. Shifting Woodland is cool. I like Malcolm just fine. I like Oust just fine. Honestly, nothing in this pack is even close to competing with Karakas for me. As I take Karakas into a Gruul card, back to back here, I want to keep in mind that this iteration of the cube cut the Golos, the Primeval Titan, the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, all that lands kind of stuff. So that's not an archetype I could fall into. I do want to be looking at, oh, maybe I'm just like Gruul with a Karakas in it. 5-color soup is a lot harder to do. Naya is a thing I could do. Here's an Othari. Also a top-end big banger that I like in the kind of color spread that I'm already in. Coalition Relic really ties the room together. I was just talking about getting my colors. Eagles of the North very likely to wheel and will help me fix my deck if this ends up being my deck. Fanatic of Ronus, also solid acceleration here. Coalition Relic doesn't accelerate out Minsc Boo because if you play it on 3, you jump to 5 and you still cast Minsc Boo on turn 4. Fanatic actually does get you a turn early on that. I think I'm going to go with the Relic and just get my mana set up under me here. And then maybe I just play Minsc Boo in blue-white control and I tap Relic for green and red in the same turn cycle. I say that, then I'm immediately fed a counterspell. This is a very good card to be receiving. 4th pick. Ponder's good. Goldspan is in this big red Chungo strategy that is available. Prismatic Ending, also good interaction, especially if I'm 3 or 4 colors. Insidious Fungus, a card I've never seen in my life. Sack this, destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, draw a card, then you can put a land from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Alright, I mean, that card's cool. Wooded Foothills, also obviously great. Counterspell versus Wooded Foothills. I could take the Foothills and just send blue down the pipe and say go ahead, fight over it with this Ponder and this Counterspell. I think I'm going to do that, actually. Fiery Confluence. This is a premier red banger. Bunch more blue cards here. Unexpectedly Absent joins Oust and Prismatic Ending as weirdo white removal that we've seen in this pack. Bring to Light cannot cast Minsc Boo. Creature instant sorcery in its Fiery Confluence. Scalding Tarn Stomping Ground. So here is the fixing. Generous Plunderer is also fixing, and it's a 2-drop that I like a lot in these strategies. Mystic Confluence is a heater, but again, I made the decision 3 picks ago to send blue down the pipe and let everyone fight about it. Plunderer, Tarn, Stomping Ground. Plunderer actually does, like I was saying about the Fanatic of Ronus, cast Minsc Boo turn early, and it represents a lot of damage. This is... people are going to yell at me in the comments about passing these lands, but I don't care. I think this is right. Chain Lightning's great. Screaming Nemesis is a card that there is. It's a replacement level. We're at 3-drop. I like this Chain Lightning. Shaping up to be a nice little Gruul damage dealing strategy. We're not getting a card back from this pack. Oh no, we get one more card back from this pack. It'll probably be this pipe card, but I would be happy to see on Oddity, Phoenix, or Nemesis back, but I'm taking Chain Lightning now. Sacred Foundry and Verdant Catacombs. A green fetch or a red-white fetchable. I'm not actually Naya. I just have this Caracas, which I would still just play in a Gruul or even mono red deck. Questing Beast is here too. I think that card's solid, but my 4-drops are already standing pretty tall. I would like my mana to be good. I'm going to take the Catacomb. Chandra on the wheel, my goodness. Okay, red 4-drop nonsense appears to be wide open. I got this Fiery Confluence in the middle of a pack, and this Chandra went all the way around. Reprieve is fine. I could see this opening up into a Brawler deck, but I'm going to take the Chandra. Oust and Tarfire both made it back around. Now that I have 3 4-drops worth jamming, this Talisman looks a lot better. That gives me 2 ways to cast them ahead of schedule. I'm going to take that. Eagles of the North, I said that would wheel, and it did. I could take the Yavimaya. Pyrokinesis is pretty good too. I don't actually have a Plains. All right, I'm going to take Pyrokinesis. Goldspan Dragon versus Prismatic Ending, actually a little interesting. Not even a white deck though. Only kind of. Yeah, I'll take the Goldspan. Let's go. Bring to Light and Sphinx. I'll take Bring to Light. I'm just not going to play that Sphinx. When this or another creature you control mana value 4 or greater dies, create 2 citizens. I think that's better than Anger and the Oddity on the wheel. Okay. Well, my deck is open. Now I need to fill out this bottom end of the curve. Unholy Heat is removal. Sylvan Library is just lots of looks. Verdant Catacomb I can grab with, or Overgrown Tomb I could get with 2 different fetch lands, but I don't have any black cards, so who cares? Crater Maker is fine. I think it's Sylvan Library for me. If I can see my cards, I can play them. Twitching Doll. At 1 mana of any color. Okay, this is another mana dork. And then there's some other words on it. Some flavor text. But I think in the absence of a Soul Ring or a Mana Crypt, mana dorks are where I want to be. Look at my 4-drop slot. It's so thick. Worldspine Worm and Emrakul after Shallow Grave just went through the last pack. Someone's going to be stoked about that. Bloodstained Mire is here, but I already have 2 fetch lands and no fetchables. I'm going to take the Twitching Doll. Yeah. Okay. Lightning Bolt is a banger. I like Firebolt quite a bit. In this pack, that might even wheel, because we saw the Tarfire go all the way around. I'm not playing Figure in a deck that probably will contain Basic Forest. Spar's HQ. It's basically just a tapped forest in my deck right now. Corpse Dance to go with that Emrakul and Shallow Grave that we just went past. Yeah, it's Lightning Bolt. Itali Sneak Attack, Skull Clamp. Wandering Emperor. I don't need another 4-drop here. Dr. Foundry is going around. And we saw the Sword of the Meek. Someone's going to have that. But we don't play in pod in Magic Online League, so I don't have to worry about playing against that. I'll just let someone else have it. Skull Clamp is a really good card. I currently only have Boo that I could actually equip it to. I could take this Itali and maybe cast it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. This is an insane pack full of cards that I am not going to play. So it's Skull Clamp or Outland Liberator for me. If I get more mana dork, Skull Clamp turns on big time. Yeah, I don't think I want a Liberator good enough to ignore a Skull Clamp. City of Traders. Oh, Jetmir's Garden is the full spread, though. Luminarch Aspirant's also pretty good if you curve into it, which I'm not very good at doing. Do I think I can wheel this Jetmir's Garden is the question, because City of Traders is a banger in what I'm doing. But this turns on 2 fetch lands into the perfect Naya spread. This is exactly the tri-land I would want if I was going to get one. Okay. I'm going to go with Jetmir's Garden, though I wouldn't fault anyone for taking the city. Galvanic Discharge, Generous Ent, Elegant Parlor. Parlor works with Wooded Foothills. Relic of Sauron is not the sort of ramp I need. Discharge is just more removal. Hexdrinker can solo a game. I think I'm going to take Hexdrinker at this point. The Gruul beat's coming in. Thornspire Verge is a Gruul dual land, but Avacyn's Pilgrim casts these 4s ahead of schedule and wears a Skull Clamp extremely well. That's my pick. 6. That card's really good. Terra Sunder, also a card that's really good. Pentad Prism can ramp into my 4s if I'm hyper-focused on that. I don't think I am. I think I want 6. Fills out the curve and is repeat copies of these things if they get answered once. Overgrown Tomb on the wheel, and Unholy Heat, and Goblet Greater Maker. All cards I thought about the first time. The Shallow Grave still wheeling with the Embercool and the Worm kicking around. I think I want to take the Overgrown Tomb. I have a bunch of good removal already. Yeah, black cards are really powerful in Cube. I want to give myself the option to like cast a Reanimate if I open one in pack 3 or whatever. Demonic Tutor. Here's the Worm still kicking. Carry Zev is a card I could just put in that deals damage. The Sneak Attack was also going around. I'm not taking that. Yeah, I guess just Carry Zev. Something to do with my mana. The Firebolt wield as predicted. Kolaghan's Command. I can cast that now. I just got that Overgrown Tomb. Maybe that is better than Firebolt. Yeah, I think Overgrown Tomb turns this on well enough that I'm going to pass on Firebolt for it. Horizon Canopy would go in my deck. Or I could take this Atali and maybe something happens with it. I'm going to do that. Wow! Rewarded. I'm not sure if that's good karma or what, but City of Traders made it all the way back to me. I agonized over that decision. That gives me 5 ways to cast a 4-drop on turn 3. How about a Black Lotus? I don't ask for much. Ancient Tomb. It's not Black Lotus, but I am almost certainly taking it. Swords to Plowshares. I would play Chainsaw. I don't know, that's just a wonky removal spell for the most part. Oslo Pride's very good, but I'm not a good deck for it. My white is basically a theoretical splash. I don't actually play any white cards, but I have Avicid's Pilgrim, Jetmir's Garden, and Caracas to cast white spells with. If this Plow were to somehow return to me, I would play it, but I am taking Ancient Tomb, collecting my 6th way to play a 4-drop on turn 3. Bone Crusher Giant is a card I like a lot. Flame Slash is a card I like a lot, not more than Bone Crusher. Batterskull is solid. I think I want Bone Crusher. Nowhere near Luris. I like Sentinels a lot, but I think Bone Crusher is a little better. Nowhere near Psychic Frog. Spellseeker. I both can't cast it and it does very little. Alright, Bone Crusher it is, and the way this draft has gone, might even get the Flame Slash back. Thoughtseize. Soul Guide Lantern. 4th Air Lingus. Okay, now I have a white card I'm going to cast. This one is a heater. This one is on like Minsc Boo levels of what the fuck. You're right in. Savannah and Marsh Flats are both cards I'd like to have. I'd even play that Thoughtseize if I get it, but here we go. Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. When it enters, deals 4 to any target. That's really good. Burst Lightning also deals 4 to any target. Tireless Tracker is solid. I even have 2 fetch lands to pop off with it. I don't think it's better than the burn spells. It's in a weird spot because I do think Burst Lightning is really good, but I also think that in this pod I might get it back. But who's taking Overlord who wouldn't take Burst Lightning? Skyclave Apparition is too big of a commitment. That's actually the card I think is the best here. I'm going to take Burst Lightning. I got a lot of burn. Elvish Mystic. Oko Thief of Crowns. Can I cast this? Oh no. I would need a fetchable blue source to be really happy with this. I have Twitching Doll and Coalition Relic that cast it right now. This card's really good. Elvish Mystic, 100% to make the deck. It just goes right in. I think I have to take this Oko and just prioritize a blue fetch if I get one. There is a Tundra that I cannot fetch. A Watery Grave that Verdant Catacombs can get. Neither of these make a core color of my deck, though. The blue is pretty awkward. Or the blue is the point, though. So I guess Essica's Chariot, Legion Extruder are good cards. Neither the Reliquary is fine. This gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to cast Oko. I think that's enough. All right, Water Grave, you're in. Llanowar Elves, Delighted Halfling, Omnath, Death Reader Champion. All of these cards could go in my deck. What's my legend count? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the Halfling filters into Oko as well. Carry Zev. Probably not playing this Atali. Shelter by Ghost is solid. Yeah, I think it's Halfling. Urza's Bauble looking crazy. Nadu. I don't think I'm set up for Nadu. Or just Lumberjack. That is a Black Lotus every turn. If I think that'll get it done. How many forests are going to be in this deck? Probably enough. I could just play Bauble, but I think Lumberjack is exactly what I've been looking for. Mana Dork, Lightning Greaves, Savai Triome, which is black-red. I don't have any black cards. That's basically just a tapped red source. Though, that is fetchable by all my fetches and cast Fourth Aerlingus. Can also cycle it. That versus Hierarch is interesting. I think I want the ramp. Sentinels and Flame Slash both bring it back around. If I could keep bad guys off my back, I think my deck has enough top end. Though this is also card advantage. The Botanical Sanctum casts Oko as one of my core colors. I think I'd rather have this. Savannah. I wanted that the first time. Indatha is fetchable green, white, black. I think I'll just take the Savannah here. Another fetchable way to cast Fourth Aerlingus. Boiler Bilge is wheeled as predicted. Have I been able to support Skyclave Apparition since the last time we talked about it? I have Savannah, Jetmir's Garden, Caracas. I think I'm just going to keep it as Gruul as I can. Stay Gruul. Red is a big commitment. But Eternal Witness isn't that good. I don't think the Razorkin's that good either. Wow. I talked about both these cards the first time. And that one. My deck's gotta be crazy. Let's see what this looks like on the deck build screen. Okay, I recently saw the advice to add cards to your deck when you're building a limited deck rather than cut down. Like build up to 40 rather than cut down to 40. And I think that's really interesting to think about, and I'm going to try it here. Fourth Aerling is definitely in the deck. All these 1 mana cards that are good, definitely in the deck. The Mana Dorks, the Burn. Skull Clamp goes with all of those. Hex Drinkers and Mana Sink. Mana Dork. Removal. Mana Dork. Removal. Card advantage. Banger. Removal and card advantage. Mana Fixing. Banger. 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 I find myself with 22 spells now. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mana Dorks and 2 Soul Lands and Coalition Relic. I don't need 17 lands. 16 lands means I could add 2 more spells to this deck. Oddity, Overlord, Goldspan Dragon are all big things. I don't think I need a bunch of Citizens. They do pop off with Skull Clamp, but if I'm spending 4 mana, I have a lot of ways to win the game rather than draw more cards. Pyrokinesis is a great sideboard card. I'm currently representing 3 forests in my deck. There will obviously be some number of basics. Lumberjack's a heater though, but if I'm playing 16 lands, I like Oddity. That one gets the job done. If I add my basics to get a look here, that makes 7 forests in the deck, and then 2 ways to fetch them. Right now the decision is, do I lean into the explosivity of Orcish Lumberjack or the stability payout of Goldspan Dragon or Overlord? The Goldspan is also a mana fixer, but paying 5 mana for a mana fixer is very different than 1 or 2. I think I have enough burn that I'm not interested in Overlord. I think my wins are going to come from top-end bangers, not from nickels and dimes like Carry Zev. So it really is between these two for me. All right, I'll go with the Lumberjack. It can carry a Skull Clamp, and if games seem to be... like, if my opponent doesn't have counterspells, then I'd rather have Lumberjack and just do the biggest thing every turn. If I might sack a land and get my spell countered, I'll just sideboard it out to Goldspan. So Talisman of Conviction, with a deck with 2 soul lands in it, this card becomes really interesting as well. That could enable turn 2 Minsc Boo, which none of these other cards, or Orcish Lumberjack does. None of the other cards do. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to go play my matches now. This is the deck.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw for round 1. I'm going to mulligan this hand that doesn't cast any spells. Okay, let's go. I'll keep this and put Overgrown Tomb to the bottom. Library of Alexandria, good start. Hopefully I can outmuscle this thing. Delighted Halfling, get in. Library's busted, by the way. That's one of these things that people seem to debate whether, is this card good? Has it stood the test of time? Yes. Yes, it has. I'm going to go for an uncounterable 6 here. I guess I could also play Twitching Doll and Absence Pilgrim. Just be ready for whatever comes my way after that. I think 6 is better, though. Uncounterable. This holds up better if my opponent jams Toxic Deluge next turn. And I'm about to start missing land drops, which 6 can help with. Mountain. Draw a card. Legion Extruder. Okay, goodbye, Halfling. Hardly knew you. Wow, Mind Collapse. Sacking a mountain. Really blew me out there. I will redeploy this squad and hope it's good. Okay, I'm ready to draw one of my messed up 4-drops now. We have gone back and forth a little bit. This library tearing me apart. Hopefully the tempo of them sacking a land can catch me up. Not what I was after. Okay, I guess I'm just going to attack. I could just float mana with Twitching Doll and build up the Spider Nest, but that is not a good play, I don't think. I'm going to fetch the Triome in my end step. Oh, you've got an Ancient Tomb too. This off-pod pairing is a trip. Manifold Key. That means my opponent can make a golem, which will then make golems forever if it sticks. Which it won't because I have Lightning Bolt. Jetmir's Garden is in. Come on, Banger. That's not bad. Okay. Hex Drinker. Memory Lapse. Oh no. Alright, well, I guess I'm redrawing Hex Drinker next turn. They tap their Ancient Tomb to do that. Can I just burn them out? Okay, attack for 3. I think I want to save the burn spells. Just a flurry of fire if they get too rowdy with this Ancient Tomb. Walking Ballista. Alright. Well, that could kill most of my things. Could kill all of my things next turn. Okay. Do you want to trade in combat for Twitching Doll? I don't think so. Opponent's at 8. That means the next Ancient Tomb tap puts them in lethal range. I'm just going to try to get them on a hook here. I know this thing is just going to die, but let's make them do it. Okay, just did that immediately. I would have put 2 more mana into it, but off we go. Okay, pass the turn. I just need you to tap your Ancient Tomb one more time, or get my Twitching Doll through one more time. Either one will do it. Or draw Burst Lightning, or draw Minsc Boo. The Ancient Tomb was tapped. Expedition map's scary. If I don't die this turn, if they don't just like get Tolarian Academy, they kill me. We've got a game. Tolarian Academy confirmed. Their deck is awesome. Alright, please don't combo off here. Grim Monolith. Mana, roughly infinite. Not actually. I mean, infinite mana would kill me here with Walking Ballista. This is just a lot. I can beat a lot of stuff. Anything that involves passing the turn without killing me and you don't have Force of Will in your hand, I do actually beat here. I hope they just start putting counters on their Ballista. Even like Portal to Phyrexia is fine. Shit. Yeah, okay. That's good, but opponent still needs to be holding a counter spell to get me here. And it has to be a free counter spell. I didn't attack. What are you worried about? Okay, Palantir. Is there a 16 drop in the cube? No, there is a 15 drop. Yes, you could draw 1 card. They bought them both. I would hate to die here to Emrakul plus Ballista for 1. So I'm just not gonna let them mill 1. Bang. Please don't Force of Will me. If this deck also has Force of Will, I don't know what to tell you. Alright, yep, couldn't play around that one. Tough crowd. They had the Force of Negation, which is why I end-stepped the Bolt, but Chain Lightning is a sorcery. And now they could start reanimating every turn. Though I do still have Burst Lightning and Minsc Boo I could draw here. They took their Hex Drinker, which makes Minsc Boo a lot worse. They could kill me really fast with Walking Ballista. Coveted Jewel. This is something we're doing. Opponent's deck is crazy. I'm over here trying to curve out with Gruul creatures, and they're tinkering for Portal to Phyrexia with the Tolarian Academy in their deck. But it's still close. It took Force of Negation. It was one of 2 cards they could have to save them there. Right, they've got a Progenitus. All right, putting extra counters on. Oh no, 8 is when it gets big. Okay, now they have a Progenitus. Okay, Burst Lightning off the top for the win. Top. Which I like them to draw one card. Yes. Still not trying to get burned out here. Oh! Hold up. None of my creatures have haste. I can put them to 1. That's so sad. Okay, I can Kolagon's Command replay 6. Do I have to kill Ballista? Am I dead if I don't? Do I just pass and hope that they deal 1 damage to themselves somehow? How would that even happen? I don't know. All right. I could destroy Portal to Phyrexia and deal 2 to them. Basically out of creatures in the graveyard, though. Buy back 6, deal 2 to my opponent. They're going to reveal another counterspell to me. Oh, yeah. I'll pay. Dead anyway. Whoa. This only deals 2. Oh, my God. Okay. All right. Opponent, I hope you didn't watch that. Yeah, K command deals 2 damage, not 3. Interesting. Well then. Okay, how do I win this match for real on the up and up? Burning them out, hasting them out are things I can do. Fiery Confluence, absolute banger. Yeah, that was a draw there as well, except that it wasn't now that we know they had Mana Leak. Fourth Aerolingus, there was a bunch of cards that would have died to Mana Leak there. All right, Lumberjack has to come out because I can't afford to sack a land and get my spell Memory Lapse. Though at the same time, speed is really important. It's kind of a push and pull on that. Do I think burning them out from 4? I think Carry Zev will do more damage than that. If my opponent wants to hide behind a Library of Alexandria, Carry Zev is kind of where I want to be with my life. Oddity's a haster. Goldspan's a haster. Fourth Aerolingus, haste. Chandra deals damage. Is Oko too slow here? And Oko oaking their various artifact pieces is pretty big. If I cut Oko, I'm also cutting Watery Grave. That makes my mana better. Oko can represent haste damage, though, if I just have like a Coalition Relic or Legion Exuder sitting in play. Maybe a Goldspan Dragon is too far, and I already have enough haste and top end. And I just want to make sure my low end is good. Okay, cool. The K command's here, Manifesting's here. I don't really want to give this opponent artifacts with Generous Plunderer, but this is also the type of opponent where Plunderer might just Lava Axe on the first attack. Bauble Vista. Didn't like their top card. I was hoping they'd play Ragavan into my Caracas, but it's Manifold Key. Can I draw a Mana Dork? Yeah! Alright. Put you under some pressure. Carry Zev is a legend. So is Generous Plunderer. No, Generous Plunderer is not. Carry Zev and Chandra. I don't know why I said Generous Plunderer. Certainly not a legend. Okay, I'm going to play Plunderer first, not a legend. If they lapse or do anything to that, then I play Chandra next turn uncounterably. Tinkering into the thing here, the portal is rough. Ballista for 2 is fine. Both my creatures are X2s. Love that for me. I would like to make a treasure, yes. This has Menache. How do I want to play this turn? Could just attack first, see what they do with the Ballista. I could play Chandra and play Carry Zev. I'm just going to go into combat first. See if they want to fight over this Plunderer, or if they just want to take 5. Looks like take 5 is the answer. And then Watery Grave. I'm hiding the Caracas. Chandra plus Carry Zev or Kolagon's Command. Whoa, Kolagon's Command. Hold up. Yeah, Kolagon's Command is better than Carry Zev. 2 to Walking Ballista and destroy Manifold Key. Okay, they will kill off one of my things with their Ballista on the way out. They're going for the Plunderer. This leaves the Chandra uncontested. Chandra also survives a Tinker, and Fiery Confluence blows up whatever they get with it. Expressive Iteration from behind while you're bleeding out. Love it. Exile a Mind Collapse. That kills Chandra, doesn't it? Yep. 5 to a Planeswalker. Costs you a land. Now Tinker's a little scary. The Extruder. Okay, I am actually going to use... I'm going to play Legion Extruder. Deal 2 to my opponent. Remanding that back to my hand. That's fine. And I'm going to play Carry Zev, who I can bounce and protect with my Caracas if I need to. With Chandra gone, I can't actually cast Fiery Confluence, which is a bummer. but I got red sources in my deck. I'll find one day. They found a replacement red source. Ox Opal that doesn't work right now. Coveted Jewel. Okay. Opponent is gaming. Well, if they don't do something big with their 3 mana, I'm going to get that Coveted Jewel and the game will end immediately. Okay, yeah, I guess they just missed. Okay, well, they miscounted game 1 for sure. I just didn't know what Kolagon's command did. And then I just had them under pressure and did my thing this game. On to the next round. I'm on the draw for round 2 with a heater mono green hand. I'm in. A mountain, an Epicure. Okay. Oh, wow. That's a lot of mana. I'm going to play the 1-2 that can tangle with the Epicure in combat. Any deck that plays Voltaire and Epicure, I would like to save any single point of damage that I can against them. So if I try them tapped... Oh yeah, Delighted Halfling holding the fort. Good job, buddy. And now I'm just going to put the biggest ass you've ever seen in front of this creature. Eating some blood. I hope they don't discard Archon of Cruelty. That's how this could go poorly. Just a mountain. Okay, we might be okay. We got a Plains, a Firebolt. The Firebolt must have come off the top, or probably would have played it last turn. Mother of Runes could cause problems. That's a powerful card. Okay, here, if I play Ancient Tomb, if I'm willing to lose 2 life, I could map and play 2 Dorks. Or I could just fetch for a mountain and play 2 Dorks. Sentinels has Vidge, so I get to attack regardless. Okay. I'm going to get my basic mountain. Savannah's in the deck too, but yeah, I want the mountain. And then Ignoble Hierarch, attack, get another map, Twitching Doll, get in. Just slowly building out my resources, hoping I don't die. If they are big Boros, and I'm big Gruul, it'll come down to whose 4-drops show up first and hit the hardest. If they are Boros Weenie, I think I'm already over the hump, and it would take an over-the-top thing like Parallax Wave or Othari to flip this. But I'd certainly like to draw one of my bangers before it's too late. The maps help. I can also get Hexdrinker up to Progenitus mode in 2 turns. I could play it and be attacking with a Progenitus next turn. Like, play it next turn and then be attacking with Progenitus on the following, if nothing else comes together. Thalia. That doesn't affect my deck very much. And they just passed. I got them in turtle mode. Okay, Hexdrinker. I'm going to level this up. I'd like to get it to 3, and then I can do something else with my energy. Mountain, get it to 3. Solitude still gets this. They could Path to Exile or Swords to Plowshares right now. Something like Council's Judgment will get it, even if it does level up. Planeswalkers could still hit it if they have a Chandra. All right, it made it to level 3. Map token onto Twitching Doll. Just trying to kind of diversify where they might point a removal spell right now. Ulvenwald Oddity is the top card in my deck. I do not want to put that in the graveyard. That has Trample. That's an important word on this board. Okay, I'm going to attack with Sentinels before I do anything else. They're just going to block and activate Mother anyway, so let me at least make them do that before I put a map anywhere. Block. Mother. Okay. Gonna put a map somewhere. Hexdrinker won't need it, and this is, I think, the scariest thing I'm playing with already. I think I'm just gonna put it on Twitching Doll again. Just give myself another 4/4 to play with. Okay, what are you working with over there? Parallax Wave wrecks my shit. That's always gonna be true. They need a land, though, because of their own Thalia. Spirit Realm can clear Hexdrinker. That's why I didn't pile anything extra onto that. All right, Ulvenwald Oddity. Trample Haste flips for 7. I have 8 mana right now. It's an 11 mana play to do everything at once. I think I'm actually safe to deploy the Sanctioned Tomb at this point. All right, here's Oddity. Map onto this. Get this trample damage going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can't stop all of it. Here comes the squad. Okay, just a single chump block, taking 7. And then I'm going to map onto my Trampler again. Orcish Lumberjack. I would like that in the graveyard, actually. Thanks for asking. And then Oddity could flip next turn, and then it's just over. If they were to attack with Thalia here, I would not block, because that's probably indicating they're trying to unlock some 4-drop or some double spell play that could stabilize them. And it's not worth a free Free 2 damage. Okay, they're just emergency card drawing. This Thalia is actually helping me right now. It's cutting a lot of the outs that they might have. Okay, had enough. Well, that was sick. The only damage my Boros opponent on the play did to me that game was their turn 1 Voldaren Epicure trigger. That's how we like to do it. Pyrokinesis banger. I love the big stuff. A deck like this is not beating Oko. Love the removal. Great Lumberjack deck. Unless they have Reprieve. It's a great place to be. Sylvan Library is interesting, because I don't really want to spend life against a deck like this, but I do like seeing lots of cards. I think I could afford to be off that. I could play Omnath here. If I gain life with Omnath, it ends pretty quick. Hex Drinker, we've seen non-instant removal. All right, I think I'm off Hex Drinker. Just get Pyrokinesis and Omnath in here. I want to go bigger than them. I don't want to meet them where they are. Ooh. This hand doesn't have green, but I think I'm still going to rock with it. Green is the most prevalent color in the deck, and I could still stomp something and play Skull Clamp. Or I could. Not anymore. Yikes. All right, well, this just got super awkward and shitty. Turn 1 Mother of Runes. I don't think I'm prepared to 2-for-1 myself on a Mother of Runes right now. Bonecrusher Giant can turn off protection, or turn off the damage prevention of protection, but it's still illegal to target those things. Skull Clamp, get in there. Build up a plan somehow. Screaming Nemesis. All right, well, that one's pretty good. That sideboard Omnath looking pretty awkward right now. Forest? Ancient 2. Okay. This hand is not working out. Collapsed by a Mother of Runes. I can't just play Bonecrusher Giant at this point. Just have a creature in play. I don't think that's how I'm going to do this. Nemesis getting in. This might have just been a bad keep. Obviously, it had its risks associated, and they are coming true in the worst way possible. On the play, I just pick off the Mother of Runes. My Bonecrusher can compete with their Nemesis, and that's that. Oh my god. A great source. I've also reached hardcast Pyrokinesis phase of the game at this point. I do take a bunch of damage if I Pyrokinesis the Nemesis. Fable. Well, that's interesting. I could stomp the Fable in the end step and see if they want to save it. I'm going to do that. Give them the decision to try to save this thing and tap out into my Sweeper. My Sweeper's still not very good, though. That does fizzle the body as well, which is tricky. Chandra. Ugh. Okay. What do you do? Okay, I would take 3 damage from Screaming Nemesis. All right, well, this is the play I lined up. If I get Mana Tithed or Reprieved here, I'll just concede. But 8 life is plenty to stabilize. Oh, yeah. I guess I could pitch the Chandra and just make the same play. All right, fine. Hate this, but I think it's right. Okay, game on. Now I know about Reprieve, which is something I have to think about with my Orcish Lumberjack that I said this deck's probably not going to have a counterspell. I'm at 6 and I can't gain life. They looted away 1 card. Thalia. Not the big banger I was looking for. I'm going to float some mana off City of Traders. Play Avacyn's Pilgrim, equip it with Skull Clamp. Hope to find some goods. Is this worth a removal spell to stop me drawing 2? Path to Exile, okay. I'll get a Forest, and then play the Delighted Halfling, and equip it with the Skull Clamp as well. It doesn't die right away, which is good, because I kind of want the blocker at this point. I can trade with Goblin Gem and draw 2 cards, see what happens at 4 life. I'm dead to most things here. Touch the Spirit Realm, clears my Skull Clamp. I go to 2. I don't think blocking makes this game more likely to be successful. That's not, doesn't attack for 20, okay. All right, that was an awkward keep, made even more awkward by their open. Do I want Overlord? Talked about that last time. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just gonna submit the same deck again. I think this is the right configuration. I just have to keep a better hand. And I get to be on the play. Okay, I'm in. Jetmir's Garden, awkward, but hand's still great. We've seen Path to Exile. That's not a good answer to Mana Dorks, generally. On turn 1. I could play the Garden tapped, and then on turn 2, play Pilgrim and Lumberjack, and set up for a big turn 3. Though, drawing any untapped mana source gets Sentinels in on turn 2, which is really good against what they're doing. I'm going to play the Pilgrim. Mountain. Red mana. Firebolt. Okay. Good answer. Jetmir's Garden, Skull Clamp. Here's this Oko. If I draw the Verdant Catacombs, surprise Oko coming at you out of my Gruul deck. A Mox! Stop! Screaming Nemesis coming in. Makes Oko quite a bit worse. But Oko's still Oko. Okay, if I fetch Shock, play Sentinel, put Oko in the bank. Yeah, I think I want the Sentinel out here first. The Screaming Nemesis is really good, though. Okay, the map token is an elk I can create immediately without losing my Skull Clamp. Yeah, being behind to this 3-3 all of a sudden was tough on this Oko draw. I'm blocking. You can't stop me. Okay, Nemesis finishes off the Sentinel, which means I was not hit by Nemesis's ability, which means I can still gain life. That was just a 1-for-1 trade. Lingering Souls, all right. And the Splash Oko making an appearance. Elk my map token. Let's get to work. Lingering Souls is pretty effective versus Oko, but they don't have black mana for the flashback. This is just front souls. There are cards they could have, like Council's Judgment or Unexpectedly Absent, those sort of things that answer Oko, and then we're playing kind of a normal game, but my hand is still pretty good. And if they spend a turn answering Oko, it's whatever. There's a lot of cards that just don't matter anymore. You know, Othari would be a nightmare that actually just kills Oko outright. But stuff like Thalia and Voldaren Epicure, a bunch of cards we've seen in their deck, I just simply do not care about anymore. They've been thinking for a very long time here, which, if they had nothing, they would probably just play whatever shitty thing they have or concede. If they had something great, they would have slammed it. So there's probably some sort of combination of interesting things to think about for them right now, would be my read. That or they're tilt roping me with this Splash Oko in my Gruul deck. Okay, attacking Oko. Something as simple as Lightning Bolt finishes it off here. The Firebolt from the graveyard puts it to 1, and they could set up like a 2-turn line to deal with it. Goblin Shaman, 1 card left in hand. Ooh, I like that. I was going to only be able to play 1 card this turn, but now I can play more than 1. I'm going to lead on the Relic, then use it to bolt Goblin Shaman, and save my Oko activation for after this to see what's still left to do. I'm going to make a food. My elk can't block their spirits anyway, might as well rumble. Emergency draw off their land. And they've got, looking at 3 cards, they can loot 2 more away. Up to 5 cards worth of looking here. That's an eighth of their deck. If they got a answer to this Oko in there, big swing at finding it. Discarded Mountain and Thalia. They are fully digging. Thalia, one of the cards I mentioned that is just worthless in the face of an Oko. I'm not even worried about flipped Reflection of Kiki Jiki at this point. They have to clear the Oko before I care about that. Just changing the rules over here. Okay, Council's Judgment. That is one of the cards that could answer Oko. But like I said, it took a turn to do it. I'm going to use that turn to deploy Chandra. Damage coming in. Now we're racing. Burst Lightning. That'll be good eventually. Okay, Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Add red. Play Orcish Lumberjack. And equip Skull Clamp to my map. Burst Lightning can kill the Reflection of Kiki Jiki. They still don't have black to flashback Lingering Souls. We saw a Savai Triome earlier in the match. Even if they have that, it doesn't flashback Lingering Souls immediately. If I brick, I can put Clamp on Lumberjack. See where that goes. Elegant Parlor, 2 cards left. Still no black. I also just literally have them at 4 with Burn, Kick Burst Lightning plus Chandra. If I can sneak this map token through, if they wouldn't want to trade with it. Attacking Chandra. Lightning Bolt's good here. All right, they're staying alive. Power to them. This Flage is a big issue. Oh, wow. All right, they're at 13. I'm going to attack with my map. See if they want to let me draw 2 cards or just take 4. 9 life. I can deal 7 right now. That's not enough. I could make a big swing. Something like Float Green, sack Savannah, equip Skull Clamp, draw 2. I think that actually sounds right. I'm going to add red, red, green. Equip Skull Clamp. Use a green to do it. Kind of in the emergency dig zone myself. Delighted Halfling is a card I can cast. And equip Skull Clamp too. City of Traders. I already have mana floating. I will equip Skull Clamp to Delighted Halfling. And I don't think I can Burst Lightning here. If they play a creature scary enough to copy, or I can Burst Lightning the Reflection in response. It's non-legendary, so Flage doesn't count. Shadowy Backstreet, 1 card in hand. Yeah, this Flage might solo the game if I don't draw a big one soon. I can use my entire hand to kill it once. And then there's 2 cards left in the graveyard. Take a while to grow that back. Yep, here's Flage leaving the flashbacks in the graveyard. My map token's going to die. Spirits attacking. Now, leaving the Reflection back is just a super easy blocker on Delighted Halfling. You just copy a Spirit. Ugh, none of my bangers showing up. Okay, I'll make red. I guess this does trade, though. I have to make red there. Not an option. Okay, I'm going to deal 4 damage to Flage, because this mana is temporary. Use it or lose it. And then I'll attack with Halfling. Now Flage can't block that. Didn't copy a Spirit to trade off with it either. They're worried about the Skull Clamp, which is smart. Okay, finish off the Flage. They don't have red to send this back at me right now. They have 7 damage showing right now. Just going to charge my Relic and pass. 4-drop bangers. The Fiery Confluence gets it. Minsc Boo goes a long way. I don't know if it does it on its own. They're spending a lot of mana. And Reflection of Kiki Jiki is large and in charge. Just some creature here that they could copy and send in quickly. Scarlet, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Not quite dead. My creatures can't block here. Oh yeah, the black mana did unlock the spirits. Big money. Bone Crusher. Do you win the game? I don't think so. All right, not an option here. All right, I'm going to stomp on the Reflection, and I'll attack. This probably kills me. They have me dead with the Firebolt in their graveyard if they remember it's there. Guess I just have to hope that they don't. Okay, pass the turn. Yeah, this was a really good game. It was the specialty interaction of Council Judgment clearing Oko when so many cards wouldn't matter into Flage, which is both a removal spell and life gain. And then Flage coming back again. This was a really good match. Also powered by Mox Pearl. If their Screaming Nemesis came down the turn after Oko instead of the turn before it, I win easily. So yeah, just having a piece of power to functionally steal the play when you're on the draw in a matchup like this is a big deal. On to the next round. I'm on the play in the final round. I am going to keep this 1-lander. I've got a Mana Dork and a Sylvan Library. Bring it home, team. Island. Islands aren't very good at killing creatures. Probably a good sign. Lumberjack. Stick the Sylvan Library and carry me. Okay. The plan worked so far. Opponent's got an end-step Brainstorm. He's looking for those cards. Whatever they may be. Oath of Druids. My goodness. Well, it's been fun, team. Skull Clamp, Savannah. Oh, Skull Clamp's the nuts. Okay. Put on top. Put on top. I'm just going to draw all these anyway. Skull Clamp, please don't force of will me. Still don't know how I'm going to win this game. But at least I'm not dead immediately. Can I burn them out from 20? Is that a reasonable plan? Maybe with 4th Aerolingus it is. But I could play and clamp a 1-drop for the next many turns. Show and tell. You just had them both? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to put in Legion Exuder. Okay. 2 to you. That means I get to Oath. I don't know if that does anything, but I get Oath. Yeah, my deck is not good against the card Oath of Druids. I'll just say that right out loud. Okay, bolt you. Okay, Oath. Let's do it. Yes, I'd like to use the ability. 6 comes into play. Sylvan Library. Generous Plunderer. You don't do anything here. I have 6 permanents in play right now. If I want to keep one of them, I have to play something. Right, Forest on top. I could Oath that away anyway. Generous Plunderer doesn't help me. Yeah, I needed a creature a little worse than Ulamog, but this is what we get. Do I have any outs here? Oko would have been an out if I could cast it. Yeah, Oko's my only play. Oh, this is Ulamog. It's Annihilate 4, not 6. Okay, that might help a little bit. Fourth Aerlingus doesn't help here. All right, I'm paying to keep it. If I play Ignoble Hierarch from the graveyard, they get to Oath. I guess Chain Lightning has to be part of the plan here. Hex Drinker, Skull Clamp it. I don't want them oathing. Okay, so here, Ulamog attacks. I go to 4. I sack 6 Skull Clamp, Sylvan Library, Legion Extruder. And they're at 12. Relic of Sauron. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any way that I win this game involves my lands. Maybe I was supposed to sack Savannah and then give myself Sylvan Library to find Oko. But I'd be at 1 from Fetch Shock, so an Elk still kills me there. That's not it. I do get to Oath again. Do I have a big haste idiot that can win? Sentinels of the Nameless City. Build my Fiery Confluence. Jetmir's Garden, 4th Aerlingus. I can make 2 horses here. Okay, it's horse in time. 2 horses. They're going to get to Oath, but I can't play around that any longer. I would like the Monarch. If this is going to happen, this is how it happens. I guess I'm supposed to hit them for all 4 here, because I'm going to sack the Knights to the thing anyway. All right, yeah, if they stabilize it too, I deserve to lose. The Oath Trigger will at least reveal more of their deck to me as they wallop my face off. Oh, also Emrakul, the whole squad, Flash and Upheaval. They have my favorite deck. Mishra's Workshop, Grim Monolith, Ancient Tomb, Expedition Map. Yeah, they're doing stuff. Can't deny that. Yeah, I wish they were at 8. That was definitely a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4. Block. Activating Relic. I would like to Oath. My Twitching Doll. My Oko revealed. Okay. The 2 damage I missed didn't determine that one. Yikes. Well, this is the worst matchup conceivable. And remember that Outland Liberator I didn't take? That would have been my out here. Yeah, if they just play the card Oath of Druids, I lose. I'm going to hope they don't do that on turn 2 again. There's literally nothing I could do. A Goldspan Dragon is some haste damage, I guess. Overlord is another burn spell. It's not a creature for a while. If I trigger Oath and hit a Tali, can I make that plan? I could just hit land drops until I cast a Tali. Okay, well, building my deck around Mana Dorks is certainly punishing here. Chandra can win without ever playing a creature, theoretically. I'm going to leave in Lumberjack because I think I have to send it against this opponent. Hex Drinker is not going to be good enough. If they show and tell and I put in Overlord, that's 8 damage to the face. Like, it comes in, trigger, it is a creature attack trigger. That might be enough to get a burn over the finish line if they don't just go turn 2 turn 3 show and tell again. But if they mulligan even kind of responsibly, I'm in the garbage. Yeah, Omnath doesn't help. Ring to Light doesn't help. Right, Hex Drinker, Twitching Doll, and 6? No way 6 is good enough. Okay. Well, there's a Tali. If they show and tell, I have a plan. I will keep this hand. I love their deck. I had a bug show and tell Oath Flash deck on the channel about a week and a half ago. You can check that out if you're interested in more cubes. Jetmir's Garden, pass. Went to 6. Island. There's Hierarch. You're too late. At this point, I probably won't even cast that card this game, though it does turn on Kolagod's Command. Left away, whether there's an Oath of Druids in play or not. Oh, I wanted that to be show and tell so bad. Oh, wow. Rip the Black Source. That immediately gives me Kolagon's Command. I'm gonna pay 4 for this Avacyn's Pilgrim and put Forest back on top. And I'm gonna shock an Overgrown Tomb, pass. I'll Kolagon's Command for Shatter and discard when they charge this. Alright, discard, Shatter. Do I want them to discard? I think I have to burn them out. Which feels crazy to say when they're at 18, but we saw last game. It's literally my plan to deal 20 damage of non-creature points to them. I paid for the Pilgrim and put the Forest on top because there's this Atali in my hand, and if it ends up in play, I don't want Avacyn's Pilgrim. Here's another artifact I can destroy. Thopter Foundry, another artifact I can destroy. Coalition Relic and some lands. Put back the forest. Do I pay the 4? Can I cast a Tali next turn? I can. All right, I'm going to pay 4 to keep one of the lands. I can break up Thopter Sword, so I'm not in a hurry to answer the Foundry. And if I try to kill the Talisman, they can sack it into a Thopter, and then the game gets weird. I think I'm just going to fetch for a basic mountain and play Coalition Relic and Ignoble Hierarch. I guess Avacyn's Pilgrim is kind of the same as charging the Relic, except it has power and toughness. And I can cast a Tali, who could hit Emrakul. They'd have to show me Time Walk or Sneak Attack for me to be worried about a monster this turn. Either of which they could have. This is a red fixer, and so is this. I can also use Sylvan Library to stack my deck a little bit and get a good hit off of Tali, though my hits aren't very good in general in the deck. I am relying on the opponent to provide me with an Emrakul. Okay, they just passed. Forest is not it. Well, none of these are it. I'm going to put the forest and the mountain back on top. They have one singular blue mana. If this is mana leak, that's really bad for me. I could spend a turn Fiery Confluencing, and then I could pay for mana leak next turn. Okay. They can sack both of these. Yeah, that doesn't even answer my problem. Whatever, I'm casting a Tali. This also clears the 2 lands off the top of my deck if it works. It would have to be mana leak or Force of Will. Like even Memory Lapse, I could just resend it next turn. They don't want the smoke. Didn't even want to reveal a trigger. Okay, they know about a Tali now. And if they don't have Oath of Druids, it is just 1 of 40 cards, but it does completely change how the game must be played. A Karizev Hexdrinker can pile on the damage, but I think this burn maybe have something I could show and tell, not play a creature for a while strat, hide behind Skull Clamp. I think this works. It works well enough. Oh, I could turn Avacyn's Pilgrim into Talisman of Conviction. That's also a bridge from 2 to 4 without turning on Oath. That's interesting to consider. Yeah, I think I actually like that. Okay, just 1 less creature in the deck. Let's have another game like that one, where Oath of Druids is not around. Karakas plays. I forgot that card was in my deck. That's huge here. I could tempo through all sorts of Eldrazi with that thing. I'm going to keep my hand. Ancient Tomb. Mox Sapphire, alright. And we're off. Talisman. Grim Monolith, sick. As I play a tapped Jetmir's Garden and smile. Okay, what are you doing with all that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't quite cast an Ulamog, though insanely close considering that's turn 1. Can I draw a different land? Nope. Alright. I was hoping to hide the Karakas. I'm going to drop out Halfling. I'm not in a position I'm comfortable sacking my 1 colored source of mana to Orcust Lumberjack, no matter what happens. Yeah, they might actually be casting Ulamog this game. That play is there. Okay, Talisman of Conviction into... Haven't seen a Time Walk yet. Generous Plunderer is good for a lot of damage. Alright. I could have saved a damage here if I had planned my turn out better. Okay, are we getting hardcast Ulamogged? I'm fine against Show and Tell. I could tempo out an Oath. Vicious Workshop does not cast Ulamog. Are we just raw dogging Portal to Phyrexia? Blightsteel Colossus, that's fun. Okay, hardcast Blightsteel Colossus is the name of the game here. Can I tempo this out? They've got 2 cards left in hand, definitely making the treasure. Lightning Bolt, Bone Crusher, Ulvenwald Oddity. How much damage can I actually produce here? Plunderer attacks for 4. I'm doing that. Plunderer attacks for 4. 6. The 4, and then the other 2. This has Menace. Try again. Back it up. Back it up. Okay, opponent's at 9. I have 3, 6, 7, 8 points of burn in hand. If I just don't die this turn, what's my best plan to not die this turn? I think it's to have 2 creatures each with more than 2 toughness in play. And the haste damage is a lot. Okay, I think casting Bone Crusher Giant as Bone Crusher Giant is what I'm supposed to do here. And I can't leave up both Karakas, red, and a blocker. So end step Bolt. I don't think I need the Bolt. I don't want to be surprised by a sneak attack nonsense off Caracas. Okay, I'm going to leave up Caracas and play 2 blockers that don't leave me dead. And Generous Plunderer might just solo this game. If they now also cast Portal to Phyrexia or Tinker into it, I'm in trouble. Yeah, their hand has to be good. If they attack, I'm going to double block so I don't lose to a single bounce spell. And then they have to kill Plunderer because Plunderer attack would put them to 3. And then even through a counterspell, I can bolt twice. So they have to gain life or wrath me here, I think. And they can't even leave back Blightsteel to block because Plunderer is going to roast their shit. Oh, I forgot Blightsteel is also an artifact. So this dealt 1 more damage than I thought it did last turn. And it's good for 5 on the attack total of 7. And they did actually pump the brakes. This is an opponent who's in trouble. I am using this ability, drawing a card, playing a land. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can play a haste creature and still leave up both my bolts. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm shoving the damage. This is the only way that anything is going to work here. The attack trigger from Plunderer went on the stack. I think they might just be dead without the bolts. Wow. Okay. Sometimes you just race a hardcast Blightsteel Colossus on turn 4. This was the deck. It is, once again, powerless. Once again, not sexy, just hard work with powerful cards. The mana worked out just as well as it needed to. This is the full 5-color green experience, 5-color Gruul. Never even drew or looked at the Minsc Boo that I pack would pick one in the draft. It's fine. And overcame an Oath of Druids deck, which is basically the nightmare matchup. I will take this 2-1 straight to the bank. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.